here, but then that really.
I just had to restart my stream, son of a bitch.
Do a couple blasts with that tear gas and pepper spray, and that really changed the momentum. As you can see, we've got the Capitol Police that's lined up there. They are ready. They are absolutely ready to come down, and I feel like they probably would. At a moment's notice.
Did you get tear gas up there?
If you're just now joining us, Brian Glenn, Right Side Broadcasting. We are live at the steps of Capitol Hill. We've been here, been out here just about all day, really, bringing you the coverage of Trump's rally at 11 o'clock. We march towards Capitol Hill. We march to Capitol Hill, and then at about 2 o'clock is when things kind of went sideways as far as in kind of peaceful assembly, and that's when we retreated, when we lost our signal, but now we're back, and I'm not sure. Hey, I don't know, Joe. I don't know how much closer we want to go from here, though. I don't know. I can't take another pepper spray. Here comes the Capitol Police right now. They're coming through. Now, keep in mind we have steps behind us. All right, so we're going to have to go backwards. We're going to move back off here. They are coming with barricades. Once again, folks, we are okay. We're safe. They're shooting pellets.
Oh, screen 3 fixed itself. Thank Christ.
You very much. Thank you very much. They're really setting up a barricade.
God, this babysitting the stream sucks.
Yeah. Look at the Captain America woman that's on that bleacher up there. See if you can get a shot of that. Look at that. Wow. I would think she's probably one of the safest spots right now. Yeah, they did say enough's enough. I believe the Capitol Police has determined that they've had enough of this. And I would imagine this is when it's going to get. Thank you. How you doing? This is very crazy right now. We are live. Sorry, folks. You might hear some things talking off camera, and you may hear some profanity, but this is a very fluid situation, and we're just trying to bring you what's happening. We're about to get sprayed. All right, we've been told we're about to get sprayed. If we're about to get sprayed, I want to find a place that we can get out. I want a place that we can exit. I cannot get hit again.
If I lose my signal, let me know.
Because that is, oh, okay. Yeah, this is kind of what they're doing to push the line back. They would pepper spray and then flash bomb, pepper spray, and then move forward. That's pretty much how they're clearing the area. And they're in the next stage of the pepper spray. And we're going to back away from that because it's painful. Thank you very much. A lot of people appreciating our coverage on this. As like I said, we're doing the best we can.
What's
we
up?
are viewer supported, and I know this sounds like a really odd time to push for any kind of.
I'm having a hard time
right
hearing
at
you.
this point, but folks, we're trying to take this election coverage into OT. So if you feel led to donate to our company, we are viewer supported. You can go to our website.
I don't know.
rsbnetwork.com/donate. rsbnetwork.com/donate.
And miner, like
support.
Crypto mining.
I'm not in a situation to.
I know a little bit, I guess.
Anything like that. I be honest with you, back there, it got really scary for a moment because none of us could see.
Instead of building a computer, you just want to like get one of the little mining.
A couple hundred people in a stairwell, and if someone fell down, it was.
I guess I haven't really fucked with the pre-built little ant miner things.
But at least we're away now, a little bit back from all that.
Yeah, you want.
Yeah, pepper spray.
like 2,000 watt
That's a look at the situation now as we backed a little
power
bit.
supplies
And that's where we were.
and
See the
like
bleachers.
4 cards each for the power supply.
Thank you very much.
So like eight cards
Thank you
total.
very much. Yeah.
Not necessarily. You can go with the cheaper ones.
Yeah, it is
It'll still be
constitutional to do
profitable.
what you did.
Yeah, you'll definitely, like with the better graphics cards, you get better profitability.
It's in the Constitution. We are to take it back. Where were they for all the riots?
Don't understand what
BLM
does.
and Antifa. I didn't see any of these guys. Any of them.
So the graphic, what happens is the mining program takes the processing power of the graphics card and it processes cryptocurrency transactions. And the more transactions you can do at a time, the more profitable it is.
Blow up buildings, do whatever they want. But we come here holding Blue Lives Matter signs.
It's just like a mining program that you put on the computer and let it run.
I'm done. This country. Thank you.
A lot of people feel the same way. I mean, that was one of the things I heard earlier, that during the summer, you saw police stand down to a lot of protesters. And, of course, now Capitol Police have confronted in the way that they've done today. And it is a sad day in our country right now. And as you can see, a lot of people are leaving. And to be completely honest, I would not be up on those bleachers right now either. I think the Capitol Police, they're done playing around. I think they're going to displace. Let's see if we can get up on these risers right here. This seems like a fairly safe place to be. Yeah, you want to go up on this one? Okay, next one. Okay, we're going to try to find a safe space to somewhere that we will be out of any type of line of stampede or
even before the tear gas. I would
just
say
bear with us as we make our way over here.
There's some more. We can see over here. We can see over here the gas. So the police are.
All right.
They do want to.
All right, there we go. More flashbangs, more pepper spray, tear gas.
God, this is amazing.
Good, man. How you doing? Good to see you guys.
By the step because I need to get out of here.
Move to this riser area. Seems like a little safer space to be at this point. We do not want to be.
You know what's also good about all this shit going on?
And little by little, people have been
It's making the price of Bitcoin go up.
We can see.
Oh yeah.
The police are now starting to remove some of these. You got a shot of this?
Still, a lot of people
All
here
right.
right now.
Moving some people on the scaffolding here to obviously.
They certainly cleared out the elevated structure they built for the inauguration, but obviously people are down below
So the police
on the ground level here.
look to
And like I
really
said, I've been here for months. I've watched them
in
build this
people,
thing since
moving along.
November. So
Both
Tear gas.
Joe Biden and President Trump,
if you could share this broadcast, I'd like to get as many people
We're about to have a push.
watching it as possible for a couple reasons. A, there's a lot of misinformation in the media right now in regards to what is going on and what is the violence like.
law and order.
And I want to make sure that everybody watches this because we're giving it to you as it
That was
happens.
stolen from us. But he did add, but you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect people.
I
We
mean,
have to
at this
respect our
point-
people of law and order. He also mentioned that this is a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. That was from President Trump. I believe Twitter has also blocked President Trump's tweet on it. Said this claim of election fraud is disputed. And this tweet can't be replied to, retweeted, or liked due to risk of violence. Joe Biden
took the girl.
also with a message.
The girl that you saw
calling
earlier
on
that we
people-
focused on, she has been removed from the scaffolding, probably for her own safety, to be honest with you, because
Just bring it up for you.
what a The wind has picked up here. I will say we got a wind at about out of the north, blowing about 15. It's a little bit. Winds have picked up, so if that means anything as far as when the tear gas is shot, it is going to blow quite a bit after being released. But that was a lot of what we heard earlier from those two individuals is that people are angry that when we saw the protests over the summer and all these things, you didn't see the police stand up to the protesters. The violence that we saw just now towards the supporters here is something that we haven't seen that before. We have not seen the level of police activity towards a pro-Trump group like that. And people are saying, why didn't you take that approach to Antifa in the riots during the summer? And that they bring up a very valid point why the violence is justified towards a pro-Trump organization, a group of people versus a group like Antifa or Black Lives Matter. So they bring up a very valid point. It seems like a lot of the resistance up top has slowed down. It's now just on the bottom. So the police Capitol Police have taken over the elevated space there, and they are now have confined everyone just to this ground area in front of the Capitol. And I would likely think that's where it's going to stay. I think at this point, if they can just secure access to the Capitol, just playing armchair quarterback here, that would be enough to at least it seems like we're kind of in this open area anyway. This is where the public would be able to, even if this wasn't going on, we're standing in a place that's open to the public. So I don't see much of a pushback from where we're standing right now. I apologize if I got it. It just seems like that tear gas, it just absolutely is choking. And of course, we're not geared up like a lot of these, you see these Antifas, you see these protesters, they come with the mask and the gas, face protectors. We don't have that. We don't have that at all, so we're very open to taking all of that straight on.
Police gear and luminous jackets are left on the stairs of the Capitol building. Just about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes.
It's 5:23 here on the East Coast. Welcome if you're just now joining us. We're still live. Capitol here in the nation's capital. It's been a very eventful day here, as today was a day that basically Congress would meet. They would go over the electoral votes, and hopefully at that point would protest the states that are contested, disregard those electors and go a different path to a presidency. But that did not happen today. Those events were stopped by what you're seeing now, a massive rally here at the Capitol, and they did breach inside the Capitol, and we have a report that one girl was shot in the neck. I've seen eyewitness video of this that's been circulating, so I don't have an age, don't have a name certainly, but one person was shot inside the Capitol, and I can only guess that we've had some arrests here so far today. I can't imagine that no one has been arrested yet, but just a very disturbing scene here on Capitol Hill. And to think that we were standing in the very spot where President Trump and every president before him was inaugurated. It's unimaginable that happened in the same spot where President Trump was. Okay. Okay, so we got more. It looks like we got some more police coming in there as well. They're really ramping up the police presence here, which is not surprising at all because I said this when we first got here. I don't see how you disperse a crowd like this. I don't see how you do it. There's just too much going on. The emotions are high. Do you want to walk around here and talk to some people maybe? All right, let's go. Watch your step there, Joe. All right, just go down. All right. Let's there's Brick shoot right there. All right, Brick. So we were talking, and of course we got hit with that pepper gas, and that was something else. Okay, so to continue our conversation, I am just absolutely beside myself that where we were standing and the significance of that spot and what we're seeing right now. And you had mentioned if it didn't get violent, we were using a peaceful sit-in. This was nothing but, hey, let's show up the Capitol, let's wait, let's peacefully wait. But you're saying that Antifa-like characters is the one that initiated a lot of this violence.
Well, it was very interesting to see, like, they would get up and they would get on the windows and they'd start hammering on the windows, and other people would notice and start to pull them off. So it's not the crowd was not behind these people breaking windows and going through. The initial people who broke the hammers were acting on their own. There was no call. Nobody's yelling, break the windows, break the windows. And then somebody showed up with a hammer and started hammering windows. And it's someone who with like a black hoodie didn't look, I mean, what does a Trump supporter look like? But they, you know, we all have a way to identify ourselves. We have red hats, we have stickers, we have shirts, we have flags. They had none of that. So, you know, I have my doubts as to whether or not they were actually, you know, people who support President Trump fully and, you know, people who voted for him, or if they are infiltrators here set to discredit the group of patriots who are here to support the president.
I'm with you, because you and I have seen enough Trump rallies. We know what a Trump supporter looks like, and we know that MAGA country is not going to go up there and create violence and initiate anything like that. So I think you're right on that. And of course, it does kind of feed to the crowd, and then you get some people that emotions are high. Now, I get that, though, Rick. I know emotions are high right now.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the other thing, too, is it was a spontaneous thing. Maybe some people had a plan to do it, but not everybody did it. So, however it started, it snowballed. People started to participate, but there's no consensus about what the goal was. There's no consensus about what should happen, other than people want to express their support for the president and suppress their distaste for the way they feel the elections were run. You know, I don't think that there was perfect information, too. Had everybody known that, Pence had already dissolved the joint session. I mean, I could see that on the other side, but I don't think everybody here knew that Pence had dissolved the joint session once we got to Arizona.
All right. Yeah, we probably need to go. I'm still going to get it. I want to get where we're not getting flash bombed in our face. All right, so the police, as we anticipated, they're going to keep driving the crowds this way because they want us away from the steps there. So we're going to back away where we have a little bit more.
How's it going, man? Good.
Well,
it's crazy. I cry for this country.
Yeah, that's fine. But I tell you one thing, I'm not taking another tear gas to the face anymore. Let's see if we can get up here and give you a good vantage point here.
They're close.
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go. Let's go. We gotta go. Okay, we're gonna turn around. All right. Watch the step there, Joe. We gotta go. We gotta go. All right, we're gonna go.
I'll stick with you.
All right. All right, so they're behind us. We're walking a pretty good pace to get out of here. I don't want to pull. You got it? You take the cord. All right, we are making our way. The Capitol Police are literally behind us, and they are not. I'm seeing some skirmishes right now. They are very serious about clearing out this area. They are not. I think for now, I think they've had enough.
we had to have, I mean, we saw, they were not ready for this. They had to bring in state police, they had to bring in military.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't bring, they probably weren't doing it for, they were bringing in reinforcements from a number of different federal agencies. I saw the cars on the roads bringing those people in. There was no preparation for this. And
Pretty much the remainder of the people
completely unprecedented.
Right.
just joined us.
Right. All right. So we're going to get the situation. We've got more steps coming down here, Joe. I'm just trying to keep our cameraman safe as well. As you can see, they're pushing back. All right. Here we go. Joe, watch the stairs. You got it? All right. You want to go to the...
We're going.
Yeah, I am not holding... People are saying, let's hold ship. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Thank you very much.
I've been watching you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Love you too.
Yeah, you hang on. You can hang on. You can hang on. You can hang on.
I don't want to be pepper sprayed.
There we go. Let's go. Let's go. We got step.
Step again.
Yeah.
All right, and step again, go.
I get way off stand.
I think they're going to stop here.
All right.
At the edge of
Trying to
federal.
stay. I got a little bit trashed here. To try to block this. Kind of.
All right, so now we're on the edge of, I think, the perimeter here, and like you said, Brick, this is kind of this is where the public space is anyway. This is kind of where you can come on a regular basis.
That's correct. But keep in mind now that, let's get closer to the camera. Keep in mind that there is a curfew in D.C. at 6 p.m. Move back.
All right, we'll go. All right, we're moving back.
The police have been progressing. They've been advancing fine, pushing people back from the
Oh, yeah.
What we see is I'm not sure how far back.
Because they won't have enough people.
About 30 minutes until
Step down.
30 minutes until the curfew.
You're not sure? Okay, I'll get out of the way when you need me.
All right.
So I'm not sure.
They don't have enough people. This is interior lines, exterior lines.
But they just
They've got enough people to block the stairway and push us off that. But behind us, we have a big traffic circle. So they can't extend any further.
Well, here's the bottom line. It's not us versus them.
No,
though. I know, but
we go stop here for a while.
right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to make sure these officers know that we're not necessarily, we're not against them. We just want to make sure we cover everything. And, all right.
About 40 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, the police started to fire.
I don't like when they start throwing stuff. The police.
And then slowly,
Yeah, let's get back. I see another push coming here.
I think we're looking at the Virginia State Police, and I know that there's Capitol Police that are out there.
So as I was saying before we had that last push,
National Guard out there.
remember that the city of Washington has a 6 p.m. curfew.
We've seen in the past
So
that
we are now about to be off of federal grounds. And once everybody's going back to their hotels, they're going to be subject to the curfew of the city of Washington, Mayor Bowser. Now, I believe that probably most of the MPD that's going to be responding to riots has probably already been pulled into service with the Capitol Police. I did see a couple MPD police shields being thrown out, so I know that there are at least some of them that are in there. But, as long as when we finally leave here, we go back to our hotels, we don't stay on the streets. This isn't the time to stay out all night because the curfew has been lawfully declared, and you don't want to be subject to that.
Of course, we are the media. Media first responders always are exempt from that. But you're right. If you're watching us right now and you're out and about in the streets of D.C., definitely go home because you could be arrested. It's time. You can get arrested. Did you ever think you'd be standing here today? I've said this maybe 20 times, and it's sad. I have to find myself to fight back tears a lot of the time because I feel like this is a very depressing time in our nation's history. I mean, we are watching our country slip away.
Monument
You know,
the police about 40 minutes
look, I'm
ago,
sad that this is happening, but I don't know that we're seeing our country slip away. There's a certain number of people who feel that it's been stolen from us over time slowly. This may be just people reclaiming their country, reclaiming the vision of America that they feel is correct, that the people in that building work for us.
No, I don't think so.
That there aren't two standards. And I'm not saying that,
Really?
making any claims about to the veracity, but of the vote and if there was fraud.
Because everything is showing up good on my end.
The resolution that was passed by Gosar said they objected on the grounds that not all of the votes were under known circumstances were regularly given. So rejected on the grounds. Hard to read my writing in the dark. Right. On the grounds that not all of the votes were cast under regularly given circumstances. Not regularly given. Basically alleging that there are irregularities in how the votes were cast in the state. Not being specific, a very general statement that they were not regularly given. And
that's exactly what it reminds me of,
on Twitter
actually.
And Facebook, regularly given. Let's remember that those were the actual words used in the resolution of complaint in the joint session before it was adjourned by Mike Pence.
Show the camera that way, Joe.
So to go back to what you're saying about, you know,
I don't want to get too close, but there you go.
I still have.
Right.
All right. So they're getting a look at what the situation is right now. Obviously, a peaceful situation at this point, and there's no violence right here on this front line. Just
oh, God damn it!
The Capitol Police has just drawn the line. Capitol Police.
All these motherfuckers in body armor just standing there. It's like, would you really want to face this mob today?
Are we going to back away, head out?
Sorry, I'm not trying to be a I see Edward. I know what Edward is.
Let's go. We're going to walk back that way. All right. We're going to make our way back towards this way. It looks like that's hopefully, by the grace of God, that is the extent of the violence that we might see tonight. Hopefully,
now I gotta find another window for that screen.
The ones here that want to basically escalate violence, hopefully they have left, and that's just how tonight will end, like that, because that's a scene, guys. We've both been doing this a long time, and that is something that I don't think any of us have seen.
President Trump and Joe Biden have asked people to go home.
2021. This is how we're starting. Anyway, all right. So we kind of pulled back a little bit from the crowd. A little area to breathe over here. I was just saying, Brick, that hopefully this is kind of how the night ends peacefully like this, and that we don't get into any more escalation.
I agree. I think that as people are going back to hotels, unlike other protests, we're not going to see broken windows. We're not going to see buildings on fire.
Using jammers
We're not going to see random acts of violence.
Shocked.
We're not going to see any of that from this group. We are going to be under curfew shortly if we're not already. I haven't checked my watch, but I'm sure we're approaching 6 o'clock.
All right, so we should probably we'll start to head back.
I'm not so worried about it. I think that the real problem is not going to be at the stroke of 6. We're all going to turn into pumpkins, but you know, you don't want to be the last one out on the streets on a night like tonight. So, it's probably time for us to start heading back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Paris, and I have an important
I'm not saying that it has to be in the next 5 minutes.
have remained.
It's interesting because we have not seen so far any of the, anti-Trumper movement out here, and I would imagine we've seen at the rallies they show up at night. I don't know why they wouldn't be tonight, but that's a different conversation, I guess, for another day. But boy,
when I was up there, I had absolutely no service. I was trying to get pictures out. I mean, they're all on my phone. Didn't anticipate this. I didn't have enough memory space in the phone. It was full. I had to delete old files, and I can't upload the stuff from my GoPro yet. It'll be interesting to see what I got. I know that I have some unusual vantage points there with a little 360 shot. Maybe it'll help convey to some people what it was like to be up there when I get that posted.
I got a lot of direct messages from family and friends that said, "Oh my goodness, you have got to get out of there." It looked a very dangerous situation, and it was. But I will say that we are safe, and nothing bad happened. But it did get a little sketchy at one point.
Losing your liberty is a dangerous situation too, though, and so there's a balance there. And I wasn't asked to go up there. I just felt like I felt safe enough that I would do it, and at the point where I felt unsafe is when I began going back to the hotel.
Okay. I don't know if this is an odd time to go ahead and thank our patriot Mike Lindell over at MyPillow.com, but you know what? This broadcast, and he's a patriot of this network. We want to thank him for being such a great partner in all of our content. So right now, go over to MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, and put in the promo code RSBN. That's RSBN, and get up to 66% off. The only reason why I'm saying this is all about freedom. This is all about being an American. He's an American. He loves freedom. He's got a great company that supports patriotism and freedom, and I think it's time for all of us to go support him as well.
And not only that, how can you not help but be moved by his story of redemption? It's impossible. If you read about him and how honest he is about his past and the path that he took forward to get to where he is now, it's very moving. And perhaps this election needs to be redeemed as well.
Yeah. If you want to follow me on social media, you can go ahead. I'm Brian Glenn TV, BrianGlenn TV. Brian Glenn across the board. And Brick, go ahead and give yours.
Brick Suit on Twitter, mostly just at Brick with the _- so Brick _suit, and on
Brick
Instagram at Brick Suit.
Yeah, it's been what an eventful day that we've had so far. Thank guys. How you doing? Thank you.
I'm just
I don't have my
listening to
glasses
what
on,
they're
so I can't
saying on
read
the
it.
stream.
Oh,
Brick Suit
wonderful. Okay,
is his
thank you.
name.
But wow, what a day. I want to get your thoughts. I mean, you guys have been out here all day. We ran into you just, by chance. We follow each other on Instagram, obviously. But what are your thoughts on what you saw today?
Honestly, it's crazy. Obviously we're making history. There's violence. I don't know what side is causing the violence. When I went with my phone up to try to see who was doing what, and we got tear gassed, and so we had to move back.
We're the ones that support.
Hold on.
When I was in the thick of it, I almost saw the cops initiating the tear gas. The cops initiating the
Yeah, I know the cops were initiating the tear gas, and they threw flashbang grenades at us, so we just kept getting pushed back.
I got, there were some rubber bullets, the tear gas, and the pepper spray. I got pepper sprayed in my eyes. It's in my hair, so whenever my hair gets in my eyes, I get like the...
It's painful. I will say that. It's painful. And it got me, it almost made me throw up at one point. It was choking like that. But,
Well, can talk.
air out for the tear gas. Like, it just gets you in the lungs, so you can't
Say
cough
something
down.
now.
It's just like very...
Pop was a bad dude.
Honestly,
Now the stream can hear you.
We're not using tasers, but that's not an excuse to be using these measures.
we're talking about this. They didn't do this during Antifa and all the riots, but against us. Do we want to switch batteries real quick? We're going to do that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to dip into black, but don't worry, we'll just change. Yeah,
Corn
we're
Pop
just
was a
going
bad
to
dude.
change batteries
Ran
on
a
the
bunch
camera.
of bad boys. Hey, Esther.
What's going on? The consensus,
We don't
though, or
right
not the
now.
consensus, but we've
And
heard
by and large,
I
they're
just-
just sort of paper.
I don't know why Corn Pop would have gone so mad for being called Esther. I don't think he called him Esther. I think he called him something totally different.
occupying this
Like cockroach? Yeah, cockroach.
No, I think he called him
they're heard. I'm
something
not
that
sure
began
what
with
they-
N. Hey,
I mean, I just
get
don't
down
know.
from
Okay, guys, if you're just joining us,
that
Push
pomade.
batteries. Can't say that. I can't say our inner batteries. I'm a little tired. I'm a little cold because it's been one of those couple of days. Last night that pre-rally was rough. It was rainy and cold.
If I didn't head back to California, I'd be ready for another
You can
day.
see the police have
this is
formed
the
a line.
news, and this is what
They're
we
asking
try and
people
get
to
here to
move.
cover for you. This is not like what
there
we're
were
built
people
for, but
lined
it's
up all across
undeniable
the
that
steps
this
of
is
the
important to
Capitol
our
building,
country.
right up
and
until about 45 minutes.
It's undeniable
Just
that's
saying,
unprecedented.
Tennessee,
And
most
it's
Texas
going to
Brown
be
in Tennessee, it's a
down the
few
stairs.
months.
the amount of
Shame
meetings
on
that come out today. Everybody's got
downstairs
something.
again.
Lots of
Keep
things.
Slowly, I
It's going to
haven't
be sobering
tasted or
for people to
heard
see what happened
anything
here,
yet.
and
About 20
for the
minutes.
people who weren't here at the
You can see the
Capitol,
police
who
are
wanted to
asking
come to
people
DC,
move. If you pan
they're
around
going
to
to
here,
get
we
a
can
really
see
good
that the
picture of what
police have formed a
transpired.
line even across,
And
the grass
as I
area.
understand, I have unconfirmed reports
And
that this
even
may have
here,
happened in other
we see the
states.
remainder of the
People, and I don't know
seem to
this
be
for a good
leaving.
Question. I thought about that myself of how many
Earlier
places around this
today,
country,
there
in
were
Michigan and in
tens of
Pennsylvania, those you know those battleground states.
Right, I don't
here
have.
at the
I mean,
Capitol building. They have
and literally,
started to
my
leave.
source is people coming by and saying, "I'm reading this, and this happened in Georgia," and so I do not know if it's true or not. But given what I saw here today, it wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me as well. If you would, please make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. If you're just watching this on perhaps on YouTube, follow us on our other social media platforms as we will continue to bring you coverage as it happens. And real quickly, I want to make sure, because you've got a great podcast, so let's give out your podcast and information.
Unsilent Podcast is the name. You can find me on Instagram, and my actual podcast is anywhere you stream your podcast. Unsilent Podcast.
They are asking.
I want to make sure you got a nice little shout out for that.
Move along, but I reported protests
here we are
in Hong Kong last year. And
different scenarios we were just about 30 minutes
very
ago. It was
in comparison.
got to a point that
So now,
was
as we can
a little
see,
scary, but now that we're down here and we have a little bit of room to move around, it's a very different situation.
Have formed a line.
We're going to let this
A lot of people
go.
still waiting in front of the Capitol building. We see the police with a riot here.
Yeah. All right. Let's make a. Hey, Joe. Let's go ahead and walk out this way. We're wrapping the light over here. We're going to go ahead and walk out towards Pennsylvania Avenue and head back to our hotel and our apartments. And I don't know if we have some coverage planned later from our remote studio. Perhaps we'll bring you some additional coverage as it happens. But we're going to definitely head back
I don't know if there's more
out this way, as we were happy to be able to get in the mix and show you the events of today. It has not been easy to do that, not only physically but emotionally, because none of us want to witness what we've seen today so far. That is something that Brick. I'm just being honest. That's not what I wanted to see today at all.
I didn't want to see that either. I mean,
it looks to me like
what I wanted to see is everybody here peacefully. There were a group of people that wanted to get behind the Capitol because there was a speaking engagement.
There was an event planned here today.
But the street was blocked off, so they were unable to make it up Constitution. Now, I don't know if that street was blocked off for the reasons of preventing people from getting to the back of the Capitol. The more I think about it, I believe it's probably a precondition of having Mike Pence in the Capitol building.
I think it was a total security.
Correct. So they cleared 2 intersections there, but it had the effect of everybody who wanted to get to that side of the Capitol being diverted and funneled into the front of the Capitol.
They're not wearing any Trump gear.
Boy, that was a bottleneck.
Guy in a yellow hoodie.
All right, Brick Suit, Brian Glenn here for Right Side Broadcasting. We are signing out. Until next time, goodbye. God bless. We'll see you later.
For sure. I am not sure. I think we're probably far enough over that I'm going to be okay. Let me help this dude. Here. You need some help getting down?
Ooh, Steve just sent me a good video.
Here.
Let her get over, guys.
But that kind of looks like the one I got up on the...
There you go. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's basically the same I got on the top right, but it's got this dude commentating in the bottom of it.
What's that woman gonna do? Is she okay? We're coming this way.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at...
Tom Pop was a bad dude.
Yeah, this is Virginia State Police out here.
Oh, but I'm saying, please help.
He's like Grandpa Simpson, actually. One thing to do is to confuse him with stories that go nowhere.
Like they're trying to reason with this woman and ask her to get down, but she's...
God, why does this cat always want my attention when I'm in the middle of computer shit?
But they're trying to reason with her and to get her to vacate the property. Unaffiliated free press over here.
Sons and daughters are killing themselves. I tell you,
Jump off for about half an hour or so. I got a few things to sort out. I'll jump back on in a bit. So.
Sounds good.
Cool. See you in a bit, dude. Bye bye.
Yeah.
So we're still out here in front of
Come back with the man, dude.
that's what they're doing. Be careful. Don't get those vaccines. We must save this country. We must save this country.
Criminal, pedophilic scumbags. Oh, they're gonna come over the wall next.
Countries. Remember that in a foreign country, most of those protesters or that mob would have been shot.
Flags upside down. No, keep them flying. So burn this shit. Burn those flags. Hang them upside down. I have sold hundreds of them. I regret it. Fuck the police.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think that they police line here. I'm not sure how far back.
You guys voted for Biden. Is that who you voted for? You vote for Biden?
Come on,
Did you vote for Biden? 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 Fuck the police.
Yeah, I'm pretty. There's a curfew that I think is going into effect. I can't really tell. I think at some point there's a curfew that's...
None of you voted for Biden. You know you didn't vote for Biden, did you? Did you? You're not going to communicate with us? You can do. This would happen. Do whatever, but you're not going to... When you say... Our founding fathers do. No. Fuck the police. Do not thank them. Because of the ones from this county. We have the ones working here. Fuck them. Because of you. Because you're working for Facebook.
You know what I'm going to say right here, though, you guys? And because I'm not CJ and I'm... Like, the police have been taking it from the BLM. They are taking it now. I mean, I don't know. I'm telling you, it takes a special kind of training to stand here and take abuse from people left and right. You guys kind of know I'm a little more of a... I mean, those of you who've seen me, I get a little more of a hothead about the whole thing, but it's a lot to stand here and just take that from all different groups all the time.
The right
You know, I don't know that. Actually, that is a good question. Like, who is being represented? Like, the people that are out here tonight, are they independent, like representing themselves as independent, or do they identify as a patriot? Do they identify themselves as a 3%er, a Proud Boy, a whatever? You know, I don't know what they're. I don't know what they're.
Really sad. That's like metaphoric.
So there's just a lot of this kind of stuff, you know, people kind of standing up to the, kind of running up on the police line here and trying to engage individual police officers. But they're holding the line here strong in front of the Capitol building. And I'm reasonably certain they're gonna. You know, there isn't any like organized groups out here tonight. It's more a collection of you know, individual citizens. There, I'm not seeing like a you know, there are like Proud Boy flags, there are any other identifying groups out here. Which is interesting because I heard earlier people talking about some sort of organized I don't know, storming or something, but it's kind of a collection of individual people out here.
Protesters stormed the rafters, and they put up
and I'm not sure if things are going to change after that.
Another, well, mostly flags, and they, oh, I see it, so they're blocking people off even further. And then the police started using tear gas and rubber bullets, as well as some batons to push people back. So as you can see, we're being pushed back even further. Some people were badly wounded. I heard reports, although unconfirmed, that one young girl died. Thank you, sir. So let's go talk to some people, get some first-hand accounts. By the way, the air is slightly filled with a tinge of tear gas. It's past now, but it was fire before.
See, it's the,
Sure, would you mind if I ask you a question?
Kind of that I just
no
can't.
problem.
No matter
Just can I ask you a question?
Call someone out and start talking about their kids, like, you know, it's just, I don't.
So were you here earlier, or did you just get here?
No, I arrived yesterday evening from Chicagoland area, and I was just telling my Facebook friends how injustice
I know we've got some.
It's horrible. We spend our time, our energy, our money. We bring our families.
Some Capitol Police.
All we want to do is support this nation and even its economy.
I'm not seeing any National
and we're
Guard.
treated like trash. I heard that over and over by some people. They're saying,
I'm not seeing
why
like
do we
National
get
Guard
treated?
out
We
here too
look
much.
past that, but we have to realize that to a certain point, they didn't want us to come. They wanted to shut the hotels down. Restaurants are shut down. You can't even eat.
Collection of
people have not
individuals
picked
kind of
me up.
massing together.
Came here for the first rally. And even yesterday, they canceled.
My suspicion,
they
though,
oh, you're a dumpster. No, that's what is wrong
some
with
of
that?
the chatter
you know
that
what
was
I mean?
earlier.
It's not fair.
Do you think after people stormed the Capitol, do you think the police response was too much, or was it the right amount?
I don't know exactly what happened. I've heard that a young lady, a 16-year-old, was shot and that she's perished. I heard another gentleman who had a heart attack died at the steps.
So
and
I'm not
possibly
sure.
somebody else got hurt with a bullet.
Still in Washington.
And might have perished. I don't know.
Streaming on
Although the last
YouTube.
one, but the first two, I guess, are validated.
In Washington State.
I don't know. I heard that.
And this
people
is Shasta
they
reporting
said, you know what? We come here all the time.
Washington, D.C.
We come to support our president and our country in the national election.
Earlier today,
we just want justice.
Hundreds of
but
thousands
when we come here, they think that we do nothing. They say, oh, they just come here. The Trumps just make noise and then they leave and they do nothing. Well, this time
it looks like the cops they're holding a line at First Street, First Avenue.
Funded. Yeah, we're not allowed to go in there, so they took it upon themselves.
People came down en masse.
I met the first two guys that broke in there.
Let their voices,
supposedly.
You know, to say that they didn't agree with it and they wanted. I'm not exactly sure though. Like
they went in there. Yeah,
I don't really know what could have been done at that point.
We're going to prove a point that we
it
are
was a larger
Americans.
crowd than I've ever
tired
seen.
of not saying it.
Literally,
of not,
this entire
being quiet and letting the government take care of things.
This entire lawn was
we're tired of it.
Person-to-person
breathing
room.
And we're going to go in there.
This entire area was full of people.
Nancy Pelosi was in the bunker.
It really was.
Vice President
I mean, I couldn't even begin to guess on the numbers. It was incredibly large.
So people took it upon themselves.
And at one point, I think around,
and we're tired. I think we're all tired.
Thank you.
Trump
Thank
spoke
you.
at.
For
now, Wolf.
Let's go speak with some more people who are maybe more on the front lines.
Shortly after he spoke,
I want to get a bit more. I want to bring you a bit more of the kind of the front line stories. So let's go take a look.
And from what I could tell,
let's go take a look
like
at some of the people who are at the front lines.
Were out here on the lawn and kind of all around.
Sorry.
And it was almost like they issued a
Hey there.
battle call or something, and people
Thank you.
started.
Hey, were you here earlier? Were you here the whole
storming
time?
Capitol. And
Hey there.
Eventually,
Thank you, sir.
About 4 or 5 of the windows were broken.
I came
People made
in
it inside the
like
Capitol.
about 1 o'clock-ish. My ride bailed on me, so I had to be here today because this is
saw
a big
people
day.
scaling
I came in. I don't know. I came in right when after Trump gave his speech. So I don't know. I met a bunch of people. We're kind of in this community. If people are familiar with
Today
Nick.
was a success. We got done what we needed to get done, which was not get that vote certified. And tomorrow we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're all going to be here. We're violating the curfew right now. Nothing bad is happening to us. Everybody who's watching this right now, get down to D.C. We need you. We need the manpower. Leave Grandma behind. Unfortunately, this isn't a job for Grandma. It's a job for you. Get down here and let's do it.
So, by the way, just to clarify what he's saying, it's right now 6:01, and earlier today, the mayor of D.C. set a curfew for Washington, D.C. for 6 p.m. So this is actually after curfew now. Now, were you here earlier when the people stormed the Capitol?
I've been here all day.
Can you describe what that was like?
Well, I wasn't during the actual storming where they were breaking into the place and going into the offices. I never made it into the Capitol personally. Unfortunately, I wish I had. But the objective was disrupt the session, and we will continue disrupting the session as long as we need to. That is the bottom line of this whole thing, and that is what's going to keep on happening.
Do you think after people breached the Capitol walls, do you think it was an appropriate response that the police took, or was it excessive?
I mean, they're just doing their jobs, but we got tear gassed. Some of us got beat, not me, but some of us got whiplashed by the batons. Some of us got the old shield to the face. You know, it is what it is.
We saw some of what he was describing, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I was just saying we saw some of what you were describing, people getting hit.
Oh, yeah, you've got footage of it, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. No, they're in riot gear, but as you know, we're all civilians, we're unarmed, nothing bad is going on here. We're just people, we're Americans just like them. The DJ over there is playing Bob Marley, he was playing John Lennon 5 minutes ago. Nothing bad is going to happen here, and that's what's most important. The only thing that's going to happen here is something good. Democracy will be upheld, and this election will be restored.
Anything to add?
I would say he said they were doing their jobs, and that's true, but I would say that they were being excessive. I heard people be shot. Apparently a few people did pass away. Those are just rumors right now, but we can't really get the news because apparently they're using signal jammers to jam our internet. So we're trying to get that as it comes in. Now, while more people have dispersed, we have been able to get better internet connections. So we're getting, as word gets in, we'll find out. But they have been using bullets. When we were going out, they were using tear gas. Apparently, one woman was fainting, and I saw this. She either was fainting or having a seizure. They were still storming. I had to haul ass and get out of there. But while they were running, fortunately, a bunch of people lifted her up and were running with her. But they would have stampeded that woman. The cops over there, if people hadn't have picked her up. Let us be clear. The police, the Metropolitan Police, are not our friends. This back the blue stuff is nonsense. Metropolitan Police are not our friends. They are our enemies. They are assisting Antifa and communists and the deep state. Do not trust them. Township police can be fine, but Metropolitan City Police, they are not our friends. They are our enemies. And that's what I want to make clear to your viewers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. So let's go and speak to some people who are actually inside of the Capitol. I want to get their direct voice. Sure.
I think that the cops out there, they need to make a choice. They they need to decide if they're a patriot or a traitor, because if they fight against the American people on the war that we're fighting against the CCP and against our own government, they are traitors. If they're arresting people for unlawful laws and peaceful assemblies, that's a traitor and they're committing treason.
Just for clarification, the CCP stands for the Chinese Communist Party.
Right. They're our enemy.
So a question, when people were breaching the Capitol and they got entrance, do you think the police's response was appropriate, excessive, or how do you think they should have reacted?
From what I hear, and I was right there on the steps next to the broken window, I think they were being excessive, and rumor has it, I don't know, people got hurt. And I don't think, yeah, they shot a girl in the neck. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I saw the bullet wounds or the bullet on the doors, and I think that's extremely excessive. And I think that everybody who showed up today here is an American patriot, and I call for the rest of you all to start fighting against the CCP and against our own treasonous government if they're behaving that way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I love the Epic Times.
Thanks. Let's go chat with some more people. Hey there. And as we're walking, if you want to take a look here, just for kind of a scale, so that's the Capitol right there, and the protesters had actually there was some rafters here. So follow me a little bit, so we can get. I just want to show the viewers a little bit of depth to what happened. So right there is the rafters where they had breached. I hope you can see it. It's a little bit dark. And so since then, over the course of 30 minutes, the police pushed back, and now they're basically right here. See, they set up these barricades, and the police have pushed everybody now on the street, and now it's beyond curfew, so let's see what happens.
Is it on? Oh, yeah.
Now let's go walk around a bit more and talk to some people who are actually on the front lines. Excuse me. Oh, are you a reporter? Okay. Let's go talk to some people. Hey there. Sorry, sir. Were you on the front line there?
Yes.
Would you mind if I ask you some questions?
No problem.
So, were you there when the Capitol building was breached?
I was not there. We were actually at the bottom of the Capitol building when we understand it breached. We didn't see it happen.
Okay. But you were there when it happened?
Yes, we were on the bottom of the Capitol when it happened.
Okay. What was that environment like?
We were hearing from people yelling down, "Hey, they're in. There's some in." And most of the people we were around just started singing the national anthem and stuff like that. It didn't seem to be any problem. The cops stood up there for a good probably an hour without being aggressive at all. And I thought, oh, we're just going to occupy for a while. Next thing we know, they're starting to shoot tear gas at people. And then they got very aggressive, started shooting tear gas, flash grenades. People were getting hit with flash grenades. They started hitting people with batons. It was wild.
I think it's very important to note that police officers several times said that they just wanted individuals to move below the door, and then it was below the steps, and then once it was below the steps, it's a second set of steps. So they continue to try and compromise, if you will, but just their promises just unfortunately were not met.
Do you think once people breached the Capitol and the police, they had to do something in theory, do you think their actions were excessive, about right, or what would you suggest they have done?
They were excessive.
Applied to in any way, shape, or form.
They could have just let things, smooth out. They didn't want to do that at all. You could tell the aggressiveness of these officers and the fact, some of them looked like they were enjoying it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, very excessive. There was no need to throw flashbangs. There was no need to tear gas. This is the people's house. There's no reason why we can't be at this building. It's absolutely absurd.
So what would you tell people who are at home, and let's say if they're following the media narrative, they say like this protest that was here today is let's say a challenge to democracy. What would you tell those people?
I would say you don't see any buildings burning. You don't see any officers injured. So we'll use their narrative. Today was mostly peaceful.
Exactly. No, I agree with him. Today was very peaceful. No one came here with the intentions of being violent. I would argue that patriots weren't violent. The cops definitely, were the aggressors in this situation and provoked patriots. And like I said, very excessive, uncalled for, unwarranted.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Let's go talk to some more people. So, by the way, today's a pretty chilly day, so people brave the cold. For me, myself, the cold kept getting in, and after about 13 hours, it's kind of like in my bones, but anyway, no complaints. So let's talk to some more people here. Let's see. Hey, excuse me, sir. Were you here earlier when the Capitol was breached? Oh, yeah?
They started shooting us and gassing us.
Wow. Yeah. Your eyes look tearing up.
Oh, yeah, they got me in one end in the mouth. But
wow. With the tear gas?
With the tear gas. And then they were flashbanging us, and the the shrapnel shoots everywhere, so it was hitting people all over.
Wow.
And we were telling them we couldn't move, but they were just shoving us on the stairs because everyone was on stairs to get up top.
Yeah. Can you describe why did you decide to go up to the Capitol rafters?
We're the American people, and we own it. And we're not here to destroy. We're just here to make a statement that we're not going to be pushovers and let the government steal an election from us.
So the media will likely spin it as something like an attempt to breach the Capitol or something like that. What would you tell them?
They'll say that we're white nationalists and that we're out here trying to destroy stuff, but we're out here peacefully. I haven't seen anyone destroy stuff or tear anything up. We're just out here trying to voice our opinion.
And do you think the police's actions after people breached the Capitol, were they excessive? Were they about right, or what would you have suggested?
Very excessive. I get I get police are doing their jobs, but there's got to be a point where they got to stand up for what's right for the American people.
So it looks like the police are now pushing us back. If you want to turn around here, so the police here behind us are now pushing people further back.
Good to see you in person, man. I love you.
Yeah, for sure. So we're still live here. Go ahead.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. So the police are pushing us further back, it looks like. Maybe further, there's kind of a road and then another sidewalk. So it looks like people are being pushed further back to that second sidewalk. So let's head back. But this is sort of the tactic that's been used to get people away from the Capitol. It's kind of a few feet by a few feet over the course of an hour. Let's go over here.
Did you get on there? Oh, you're for the Epoch Times?
Yeah, hey there.
Oh, yeah, what's up,
hey,
man?
Hey, were you here earlier when they breached the Capitol?
I was close. I showed up right after they shot that 16-year-old little girl in the face, killed her.
Yeah.
I watched them push this old lady down. She was maced, couldn't move. She's probably 60 years old. Yeah. Pushed her down them 2-foot stairs and fell straight down and slammed her. And then they slammed another lady right up against the front, and she didn't even do nothing. Yeah, I've got it all on film, too. So I love you guys. You guys rock.
Thank you. What would you tell, because I'm sure what the mainstream media will report is that it was like an infiltration of the Capitol. What would you tell Americans who view that report?
I would say that this was a Second Amendment right. We're here peacefully. We didn't burn anything down.
Can we walk and talk?
We didn't burn anything down. We're peaceful. They should not have been killing people at all. No right at all. Now, after they started killing people, that's when they started breaching. That's fairness.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey, rock on, man.
Thank you, man.
Is that going to be on there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So as you can, whoa, sorry about that. So as you can see, we're being pushed back further and further. So we need to, oh, I see.
You will be back, you fucking commie cocksuckers.
So we can't edit the bad language, but anyway. Yeah, so this is. So I'll tell you this. Over the last year, people chanting USA. Again, over the past year, my cameraman and I have been across several protests in Hong Kong, in down in the South, over in Portland. But this is special. I mean, this is the U.S. Capitol, and to see a protest like this in front of the capital of basically America, basically the free world, is a totally different feeling. Let's chat with a few more people. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions? Were you there earlier when the Capitol was breached?
I was, yes.
Can you describe it a little bit?
It was just a crazy scene like you've never seen in America. The police officers were throwing tear gas at us. From what I understand, they shot and killed somebody. It was really scary. I was actually up the stairs and I got tear gas, and a lot of people were stampeding down and falling on top of each other. So it was really scary. It's just like we didn't think that the cops, I don't know, these officers don't seem to be very friendly. Yeah. They just knocked some guy down. So.
Yeah. What were you guys trying to achieve by going up there?
The people in the back, I don't know I did not try to break into the Capitol, but I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I think that they're trying to show that we, the people, are the government, not these corrupt politicians, and that Congress should be run by the people. They're supposed to represent us, and they're not representing us today. They didn't represent the people. There's millions of people, half of the country, that wanted a certain outcome. The least they could have done was an investigation. Like, I don't say be violent or anything like that. We came here to peacefully protest, and we were tear gassed out of here. People were shot at. You know, it was horrible. We were peacefully protesting because half of the country wants an investigation and they feel that the politicians are traitors. Mike Pence is a traitor. That's what I'm hearing today. So, you know, it's sad.
Yeah. What would you tell? Because the mainstream media will probably spin it in a certain way, right? Everything here, they'll be like, oh, this is a challenge to democracy, things like that. What would you tell the people who are watching those reports?
It's not a challenge to democracy. We all love this country. Obviously, that's why we're here right now, peacefully protesting. The people who are not being peaceful are the police, believe it or not, who are gassing us, throwing bombs at us, shooting at us. So we're here peacefully protesting, and they are the ones who are actually being violent.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so there you have it. Yeah, so situation here is tense. It's a tense standoff. Yeah, it's a scene, not something I thought I'd see today. That is for sure. Wow. So let's go talk to some more people. Hey, would you guys mind if I ask you some questions? Yeah. Were you here earlier when the Capitol was breached?
Yes.
Can you? Oh, really?
Up at the top, yes.
Can you describe that situation a little bit?
It was hectic. It was very hectic. I didn't necessarily agree with the breaking of the window. I heard a 16-year-old girl got shot and killed in there. I don't know how true that is. We've been sitting here watching them pull out stretchers. So that's all I know.
Wow. What were you guys hoping to achieve by going up to the rafters?
For everybody to do the right thing. For them to do the right thing. We're here all the way from Oklahoma.
From where? Oklahoma? Once people breached the Capitol building, do you think the police's response was appropriate, excessive, or what would you have recommended?
They're on the wrong side. They're on the wrong side. They had the same choice to come out here as we did. They can turn around and say, no, I'm not going to.
Last question. So the mainstream media will probably try to spin it in a certain way, like the people, even the whole protest came out here to like challenge democracy and things like that. What would you tell people who are watching those reports?
Look further. They don't trust anything. Question everything. Look, the answers are out there. I mean, people are out here seeing things play out in front of their own eyes. So watch the TikTok lives. Watch Facebook lives. People are out here posting what's going on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So let's see. I've got a live update. Chaos engulfs D.C. as protesters storm Capitol. One person shot. Trump urges peace. So this is a recent news report. Also, I want to mention that one of my editors actually just messaged me saying that Twitter is now blocking engagement with Trump's tweets. So it's quite a serious situation out here. Oh, take a look. What appears to be riot police. Oh, actually, these are the National Guard troops here. Wow. So basically,
the people that are on the streets now are not.
Actually, once the curfew was established, we heard reports that they were going to show up, and supposedly here they are. if you want to come a little closer, we can take a look at the front line. Huh?
Follow it correctly. Follow it correctly. As you see it.
Yeah. Hey there. So it looks like they're starting to push back, so we'll have to start walking. So the National Guard troops are now pushing the protesters back up the street. Wow. Now this is something we did not anticipate upon getting here and seeing the protest in the beginning of the day. Wow. Wow.
Every time?
Yeah. Wow. Hey there.
Watch you every day, man.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, so this is quite a scene. Let's hey, can I get a quick interview with you? Okay, what brought you out here today?
Oh, I love Trump, man. I support Trump because I know they're stealing the election. I mean, the evidence. You know, the press that doesn't put all the evidence, on TV. So people they don't know. Most of the people they don't know. So about all the people that follow Trump, we know the truth. You know what I mean? So we support Trump, a lot, man. We all the heart. So we believe that Biden is the most corrupt politician, man. You know what I mean? All the government, everything, all the deep state support Biden. So, you know what I mean? They are behind him. So they're trying to take Trump from out of the way, so they can. So
we have to keep moving a little bit back and back. As we're interviewing, you see the line of police are moving this way. Yeah. So what do you think of the police response? Do you think it's appropriate?
I don't think so, man. I mean, there's a peace. Nobody's doing nothing wrong, you know what I mean? Everybody's peaceful. So I don't know why they're doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're pushing people like, with no reason.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Wow.
Was arrested today.
Oh yeah, where'd you hear that from?
Yeah, that looks like the National Guard, just based on the uniform that I'm looking at here. But it is dark, so I don't want to.
We'll look into it. Yeah. What do you think of the police response? Is it appropriate?
There are multiple different agencies and law enforcement agencies.
They're coming for you.
From
I said, you work for the city council.
State, and also federal law enforcement. Also, troops were deployed, not troops, but reinforcements were deployed
as well
from Maryland, which is a neighboring state, and they also believe that they were also being sent from Virginia.
Okay, so it looks like they set up a barricade here.
And
the
Catherine,
protesters set up a barricade.
Well, that's just a bit of an aside.
So they set up a barricade.
I noticed that this is all happening.
I guess it's to attempt
in the
to trap the
midst
National
of this
Guard
pandemic
in.
there
Let's
in
see what
the
happens
US
here.
with, I think it's like 3,500 people dying
yeah, this
in
is
24 hours there.
Quite an interesting situation that we have here. Sir, can I ask you a quick question?
There was a speaker at the rally
what do you think of the police response? Is it appropriate?
Who was encouraging people to hug each other and create a super spreader event. As someone yourself who's caught COVID and dealt with COVID, how have you felt about what was
the
said
protesters
at that
kind of
rally
breached the Capitol?
and what you've
What do you
seen
think would have been
over the last 24 hours, considering the
describe the
devastation
situation?
that is
No, I was
happening
at the
right
base of
there
it.
now there in the US
Flash
just with
bombs
the
and
pandemic?
rubber bullets. Did you get hit by any bullets? No.
Look,
that's good.
It's extraordinary. I mean, that's I know the video
so we just
you're
keep
talking
having to
about
be pushed
and
back
the speaker
here.
At that event who encouraged people to hug each other. I mean,
Now again, the mayor of DC
extraordinary. I mean,
issued a curfew earlier today for about 6
p.m.
p.m.
where we attended another Trump rally the day before yesterday, and not many people
If you're just
were wearing
joining in,
masks.
this
I've
is the
been
tail
approached
end
by I don't know
of,
how many people.
the rally that was scheduled today for
Here,
January the
even
6th
today, and
to
at other
coincide with a
rallies,
joint
and
session
in
of
recent
Congress
weeks about
over here in the
why I wear a
Capitol
mask.
building.
And then they
in
try
front
to
of us
claim that they're
here
not trying to kill
is
me
the
by
National
not
Guard
wearing
troops.
one. But that's the sort of mentality that we are seeing here.
Who are kicking people away from the Capitol. They were called in, from what I've heard, after the D.C. mayor established a curfew today for 6 p.m.
Sorry to interrupt. Look, you know, the concern is
So here,
tonight,
on the one hand, you have the National Guard troops, and on the other hand, you have the protesters here moving further and further back. That support, of course, the Capitol building here.
Anti-Trump.
So very tense situation here.
Tell me, what is the mood there? As
Sir,
you
were you
talking to
here
Joe just
earlier when they
before,
breached the
we saw
Capitol?
What looked to be a distressed elderly
Can you
lady
describe
being
that situation?
shepherded by her, looked like teenage granddaughter or someone.
That's all I can say.
What is the mood of that mob tonight?
What do you think of the police
Have they
response? Was it
calmed?
excessive or just right, or what would you describe?
Very excessive.
Do you mean mob, as in a counter?
What do you think they should have done instead?
What is your feeling on the streets? It looks to me like they're following police instructions, and that fervent mood, that blood boiling
last question,
mood
I guess,
of the
the mainstream
folks
media
who are
will
in the
likely kind
Capitol,
of
that is
spin
dispersed
this as
somewhat
like an
tonight. Is
attack
that the
against
feeling that you're
democracy.
getting standing among them?
Exactly. Yeah. What would you tell people who would be watching that?
Yeah, like I said
version of it
before,
at home?
I feel like a lot of the
Turn it off. They're liars. All of them are liars. Even Fox News is liars. Oh, they always have been. I've known that. Who are you? You got it. Oh yeah, Epoch Times. Yeah, I love Epoch Times.
All right. Thank you so.
News.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So again, the National Guard is starting to push us back further. Now we have to be a little careful because actually the protesters set up another kind of barricade behind us. So now we're actually in a bit of a tight spot. On this side we have National Guard. On that side we actually have a barricade. Oh wow. Hey, you know what? Come to think of it, this is a full year of protests. Everywhere we go across the world, there's protests, right? In Portland, in Hong Kong, here in D.C., in Georgia, everywhere we go, there's protests. What is going on in this world? So let's go talk to some more people. I'm okay. Oh, sir, would you mind? Thank you very much.
God bless you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are great.
Were you here earlier?
Yeah, all day.
Oh, yeah? Were you here when they breached the Capitol?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Could you describe that a little bit?
It was pretty impressive. I mean, it's unfortunate, but what happened to us with this country with the election, I think people feel like they needed to do it. We need to stand up. You know, we don't go out there and we don't go out there and burn cities down like they do all summer long. But what happened to us now, we feel like we had to get out there and do something.
Yeah. Do you think what do you make of the police response? Was it excessive, just right, or what?
It's annoying, but you know they're doing what they have to do. That's their job. And people are pissed off here saying you should stop doing what you're doing. You should put your career aside and join us. But it's easy to say when it's not your job in line. Some of these guys have pensions, so I think 95% of them hate what they're doing right now. I think 95% hate what they're doing, but they have to do it. It's annoying. I wish there was this type of aggression, was the crap all summer long with Antifa, but it is what it is. What can you do?
Well, that's a very empathetic way to look at it. So, what would you tell people? Because the mainstream media will probably spin this. The entire protest probably as an attack on democracy. Yeah. What would you tell people?
It'll all be Trump's fault, of course.
Yeah. So what would you tell people who are viewing that side of the story at home?
Come down here and see it. See it for yourself. And understand what we're feeling. We feel like happened to us with this election. Whether it was stolen or not, bottom line is the mainstream media is the one that actually stole the election. With manipulating the COVID virus, they're getting the highest voter turnout rate in 120 years. All those sheep that normally don't vote, they got them to come out and vote because it was so easy this year with the mail-in balloting. They all voted for Biden. So with the mainstream, if you don't pay attention to politics, when you scroll through the network nations, you go on the internet, 95% what you see is going to be bashing Trump. So you have no idea what politics are like, and so you don't. It doesn't matter because you don't vote. Now it's easy to vote, and all you've seen is anti-Trump crap. And they knew that. They knew that was their ace in the hole. Was they get the highest voter turnout rate in history because it's all going to be these sheep that the mainstream media is manipulated into voting against Trump. Maybe it was fraud. I don't know, but I'm more along the lines to think of the mainstream media as the actual people that stole this election. But you guys fight the good fight, though.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks.
God bless you.
Thank you. Wow. So let's go. I really want to talk to someone who was there at the breach. Sir, were you there earlier? No, that's okay. No problem. Oh, you were? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was in there.
Can you describe that a little bit? Can you describe?
When it actually happened, no. But I was maybe like 15, 20 minutes later when people were storming in there. I went inside there. I wasn't there when it actually happened. Yeah. But it was unbelievable. The entire, the bulk of the Capitol was basically we ran it for like 2 hours.
Yeah. What was the kind of intention behind it? What did you think you could achieve?
It just anger. That's all it was. It's just, I don't think no one had any intention to go in there and destroy. That's the thing. The crazy part. That central hall with all the artwork, no artwork was touched. If Antifa had been in there for 10 minutes, it would have burned the building down. We have respect in that capacity. Yeah, he broke the windows down to go in there. People were pissed off. When people were in there, they weren't in there fighting cops. They weren't fighting each other. They weren't destroying the building. They weren't burning the building down. We just want to get in there. We want to make a point just to be heard, essentially. But once we were in there, we occupied it for a little while and then ended up getting forced out. But it didn't burn the building down like Antifa would have. That's not who we are.
That's what I am saying. A patriot
today,
lost
Mike
her
Pence,
life today.
said that he wouldn't
No big deal?
exercise his potential right under the 12th Amendment to do anything. He'll just count the votes.
there's a
So
lot
what
more
if, let's
to
say,
come, but I
Congress goes
disagree that
through
this is nothing.
the joint session when it reconvenes, and they wind up certifying the votes for Joe Biden? What's your opinion on that? What do you think will happen?
Okay, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you on that. Too many people will be on their fucking keyboard, still posting memes and not being out here on the front line.
Media manipulated.
I agree with that.
Trump never in a million years would have lost the 2016 rules. That's what pisses people off. This election was stolen by a rigged system.
Yeah, but you were his hands and feet. Get out there and do something.
Amen. I agree with that 100%. We always say that. You can't just go to the ballot box, vote, and go home and pray. You have to take action.
Do the opposite of that.
If you got your leg cut off, you wouldn't just pray. You would pray and take action at the hospital.
The fake news media. But the fake news mainstream, they are the ultimate enemy of the people because politicians are always going to be correct. They're always, that's who they are.
In theory, that's okay because other media can spring up. For instance, like the Epoch Times or other media.
You're suppressed. There's a handful of you.
It's a big tech censorship because that works together with the legacy media.
Yeah, and big tech is now becoming another new player as far as the censorship goes. Twitter and flagging everything. It's all big tech, Democrats,
What's the answer to all of that?
Honestly, I think as simple as it is, it has to be the mail-in balloting. That has to be the number one issue of our lifetimes right now is mail-in balloting. Because if they make mail-in balloting, every Democrat in America is going to push them into the new norm. They're going to try and find every reason to say, oh, it worked out great with the highest voter turnout because they know they get the brainwashed sheep to come out and vote for them. But in the past, they couldn't do it. Well, mail-in balloting is the key. If mail-in balloting becomes a new norm, I think the country's done. If we can get it back to the 2016 method, how it used to be then, and Trump runs again, I think we could win. But if it's mail-in balloting moving forward, which the Dems are going to push for, I think the country's screwed. The history, because of the control of the media, that narrative, people that don't pay attention to politics, you're not going to vote because you don't care. You don't walk all the way down to the voting booth on election day. You're too lazy to do. You don't care. Well, see, when the 20s don't even vote. When you get to have a mail-in ballot just sent to your house and it's so easy to vote, people who don't pay attention to politics and therefore shouldn't vote. Everyone talks about, oh, you need to have huge voter turnout. Vote. No, bullshit. BS. Excuse my language. No, if you pay attention and are educated, then you should vote. If you don't, you shouldn't vote. And they get people who have no business voting or voting. The reason they have no business voting is because you don't pay attention. You're oblivious to the fact that everywhere you go and see on the news and TV stations and the internet is all anti-Trump bias, and you're unable to understand that, then you're going to be affected by it. So therefore, of course, you're going to go there and you're going to vote against Trump. But if you don't know what you're talking about, you shouldn't be voting. That's a problem. Democrats know that. And that's what mail-in balloting is. Mail-in balloting is you don't care about politics enough to actually go down and vote in person. It's so easy for me to vote. Mail-in balloting is a solution for those kind of people. And that's what, if they can make it mail-in balloting moving forward, I'm going to give a prayer.
Wow. So you're suggesting that if there's widespread, continuous mail-in balloting like this, basically the media will control the winner almost absolutely.
Yeah, it's not, again, because of fraud. I'm sure fraud's a big part, maybe, but it's just about the fact that people that are brainwashed. So honestly, my honest opinion, I think Biden probably honestly get more votes than Trump. He probably did win. Just because the people that shouldn't be voting, the sheep, came out and voted in droves. It was 155 million people voted. 168% voter turnout, highest in 120 years. No, the extra 10-15% that voted shouldn't be voting because they're brainwashed. That's a problem. As long as the media has the control they do, the mail-in balloting is going to be our downfall.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Oh.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir. All right, so hey, why don't we actually go a little closer now? So they seem to have stopped kind of pushing the line. So why don't we go in and kind of see the front line a little bit? Let's see, my producer wants to chat a little.
fuck? Is that CNN or Fox?
All right, here we are right now on the front line. Right here, you see the National Guard troops on one side and basically the protesters on the other. And they've already pushed the protesters back. If you see the Capitol, that's where it all started. And over the course of maybe an hour and a half, kind of incrementally, they pushed us back to right here, which is maybe, what, a quarter of a mile away. So it's pretty cold also. It's like probably below freezing with some wind. It's kind of, over the course of a day, it's kind of seeped into my bones. So I'm going to warm up a little bit, and then you can come back and we'll interview some more people. Otherwise,
members of Congress.
That's it.
Taking money from the Chinese Communist Party, directly or indirectly. Passing legislation that benefits that benefits foreign countries, such as China, which benefits the CCP.
It won't help Americans because, God forbid, we're lazy during a pandemic, right?
Won't help their own citizens.
Won't help their own fucking citizens, but they'll help every other fucking country on the planet.
We need a fucking strong America.
And what is this shit? Where's the fucking riot? Where's the riot?
Nowhere.
Tell me where the riot is. I don't fucking see a riot. But you know what I do see? I see a lot of pissed off Americans. I'm one of them.
Me too. That's enough of a reason to be out here.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people we've met now that just pretty much came out here because they were pissed off.
Can I ask you a quick question?
It's just good to see that people actually give a shit, I guess.
Oh, hey, I have my own mic, actually. No, a Hong Kong audience? Hey, so actually here, we were in Hong Kong a year ago, right? And when we were there, we saw 800.
I checked all my pockets. Been streaming for about almost an hour now.
Here, get a good view.
A good song.
Reptile boots on.
No.
Seriously, they look like they have boots on that have scales. They could be Lizard Republic.
Yeah, they could be.
That's who designed those.
Those reptilians.
I've heard those.
Those fucking lizards that run the government, man.
They look kind of cool. Do you think they sell those like on the aftermarket?
Probably. I've seen those at surplus stores. National Guard. Huh? Yeah, I got guard over there too.
Everywhere. For
Completely
what?
around.
For what?
We're breaking curfew.
I cannot believe that. Come on.
Can't stand at the Capitol, man.
This is, I get that or whatever.
Not allowed to stand at the Capitol, man.
But this,
Can't do it.
standing here.
And your tax dollars pay for, this elaborate building, but
Yeah, right. Extreme.
can't do it though.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
All the buildings are beautiful. I love this time.
American architecture is gorgeous.
That's why we should be able to stand on it whenever we want.
Exactly.
It's not theirs, it's ours.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the house of the people, right?
No.
No. Wrong.
The people don't matter anymore. Head. We don't matter. We only make ourselves matter.
Exactly.
And they should care about us.
They don't care.
Disappointing.
No.
Very.
I think it's fun for them in a way. I think they enjoy it legitimately. The
No,
police.
I don't think so. A lot of them really are fucking.
Yeah.
Who could enjoy that? Unless they're psychopaths.
Yeah, unless
Of
they're
course
psychopaths.
Of course there are psychopathic cops.
I mean, or lizard people.
But that's my whole point. Like, that's the only people that could enjoy that.
Yeah.
So, you know, psychopaths are not people. They are demons.
Correct. Satellite. What? Huh? What?
I'm not putting my hands in my pockets.
Why? No, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I'm stupid because I'm risking getting shot. I think I got the microphone working now. It's got now. Huh? Is this a female? Is this a female cop? Stabilizer may be dying soon, so I might have to go handheld. Yeah, seriously. Where's Kurt Russell? Gotta fucking escape across the bridge now. Probably have to. Yeah, instead in the movie he goes across the George Washington Bridge, we're gonna go across the bridge, across the tunnel. See the dip cuff? Dip cuff. Dip cuff. Yeah, I kind of want to see what's over here anyway. Kind of involved the National Guard stuff. It's creepy.
Three and four, up front.
Tear gas beat it.
3 and 4, up front.
And you can sue the fucking piss out of them. Brought in everybody.
Arizona, and that.
Three and four up front. 3 and 4 up front. Move back. Move back. Move back. We're back at home, baby. Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, we all on the line. Stop off my ass. I've been out since 2011. I'm probably getting a phone call. Hey, Special Showers, you want to come on back? Fuck.
So. What's that?
What y'all realize? The only one violating right now is some Mickey Mayor telling us we're adults and we have to be in bed at 6 o'clock. How would you like to be told open up the other bed? Only invasive. Only invasive. Hands off. Even on that weekend, the order is not on open. Hey man, I wasn't asking about you, right? We all served our fucking service. I still did 15 months in Iraq. National Guard or not, they all go to the same boot camp, they all go to the same school. Alright? You gotta respect it. They don't know what the fuck they got into.
Offshore, we're probably just gonna hang out until it's kind of dead or something. Not really sure when we're gonna leave.
You know what's funny though? I know why they didn't call it. Sorry, Army.
Some guy in the chat.
You know want to know why they didn't call it 20 hours?
He said, are you gonna hang out to eat a board or what?
We're gonna hang out till whenever the fuck we want to, person.
Yeah. Where did all the seals come from? Holy shit. This chat is astounding. Oh my god.
You guys step up just a little bit, just to get
Oh shit.
Fuck you! Fuck you, pedophile pussies!
This is a
We ain't here to fight. We're here to get this all on film. Plus, not to mention, I'm not going to put my wife's life in danger, so. Pretty much only the people who seem to really care are left. That's it. But you notice it did slim out considerably. It did slim out considerably.
Yeah. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Not a journalist, no. Just like to commentate on things and show things to other people. The media hide.
They're just dreaming. You're not going to. You can keep running your little bitch-ass mouths. Don't give a fuck. I've been called everything in the book. I don't need... You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Exactly.
Besides, probably fucking bots. Sorry. Anyway.
Chinese bots. CCP shills. Or them. Or they.
You can say whatever the fuck they want.
parentheses, 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 they, parentheses, parentheses, parentheses.
Because we can do whatever the fuck we want, and this is fun, and this is important, and why not share it with people, right?
Yeah, exactly. The fact of the matter is that I don't see any of these pussy-ass bitches out here themselves.
Yep. Yeah. We're here.
We are here bringing that big dick energy.
264 viewers.
Big dick energy coming from
Big
us.
Rick energy.
Big Rick energy. 264 viewers. Hell, there. Okay, that works. Oh shit. Hey, it smells good. Not me, unfortunately. Huh? Yeah.
You want to leave it muted for a little while?
Huh? And we move this way. Stabilizer, please do not die on me. Take your pension. Oh shit, calling them out. Oh shit.
God bless. Oh, let me see that microphone. Let me see that fucking microphone. Congress, bring this back up for me, please. Bring this shit back up for me. Congress is to resume counting of electoral college votes at 8 p.m. after protesters stormed the Capitol. I think they fucked up and meant to say Patriots. So they're going to start counting at 8 p.m. after the Gestapo, DC fucking fascist police and the Air Guard sends everybody home. They're going to start counting again. Do y'all not see the shit they are pulling? They used y'all to get us out of the Capitol so that they could steal the fucking building. That is treason!
Treason!
You don't give a fuck about it. Hey, they're doing their job. They're National Guard. They have a right and a duty to. They are allowed to deny on constitutional orders. They have an ability to fight the court.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking traitors.
I have a lot of them laughing. I'm not mad at them. I don't hate y'all. I always tell them y'all are my brothers and sisters. Because I enlisted, doesn't matter if you serve with me or not. Y'all are all my brothers and sisters. We are all part of the biggest family in the whole fucking world. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. It ain't about Air Guard or Army or Marine or Navy. You serve, you serve. Y'all are family. So the way I look at it right now, I'm not getting my ass kicked by 35 brothers and sisters. That kind of sucks. We don't need to.
Damn. Talk about intense energy, right?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So they're resuming the vote counting at 8 p.m.
Trying to be. So I thought they rejected.
Yeah, so yeah, we do officially have a Gestapo.
So they say they're going to reject him and then get everybody out and then just resume what they were doing, I guess. Was it interrupted because of the 16-year-old girl? I mean, I haven't read. Oh, look. Does that guy have a noose? That guy has a noose. Fucking based.
I'm trying to see if I see any of those people.
See any who?
People, really.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They're not wearing name tags. No identification. You want to follow me? I can show you. Hands are hiding from that's the best way.
We're gonna be here all night.
It's all right. Half of them are out of legs tonight anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can switch jackets again.
he and how he's going to act in the next, as this progresses as well. But for him, it's been an opportunity essentially to be a part of history, were he to have rejected or sent back the electoral college votes that were from the contested states. Because had he done so, or were he to do so, he'd be in the history books as a significant and very brave figure to be studied for decades, for as long as anyone would be studying American history. Because and what would he have had to lose had he proceeded in such a manner? I mean, in the worst case, the Supreme Court would have ultimately reversed his decision. But in the best case, the American people would have had an opportunity to have their faith in the electoral process reinforced by a revision of the voting process, that a revision and examination of what occurred, and then whatever result that would have led to would have had much more would have had much more confidence from the American people, both on the left and on the right. And essentially, he didn't take that opportunity, and now he'll just be like a footnote of history instead of a maker of history.
Right, and I think his choosing not to make that move probably led to a lot of the frustration out in the streets today, and probably led to some of the outcome that we've seen. All right, we've got to wrap up here. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, and that was all from Mark Ruskin, a 27-year FBI veteran. And I think we're going to go back on the ground in D.C., is that right?
What you're looking at there, Aaron, is Metropolitan Police from Washington, D.C. Those are the ones in those green vests. We also have members of the D.C. National Guard. We have now learned that the entire D.C.
Presenting these live broadcast of the should have been the count of the Electoral College votes here at the U.S. Capitol.
And they are engaged in what is essentially a standoff with
so far, it's been a pretty crazy, pretty heartbreaking night to see everything that's happened. I'm sure you've been keeping an eye on everything that's been happening. You can see now around me, there aren't that many people left here at the Capitol. When I think the people first came after President Trump's rally near the Washington Monument, there were tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people had come to the Capitol. I'm sure you know the Capitol was then breached. The Capitol was then breached. The counting and the different ceremony of counting the Electoral College votes was paused. I believe the lawmakers were put into some kind of secure place, and things kind of got pretty crazy here. I didn't get here. I was still making my way from the President Trump's rally, but when I got here, a lot of people had started to leave. It was after the D.C. mayor had put in place a curfew, so a lot of people were leaving already, but a lot still stayed, and you might be able to see it now in the dark, but all the way up in the Capitol building, right into the entrance, there are levels and stairs and levels and stairs and levels of stairs, and there was all full of protesters, really all full of protesters there. They had gathered there. They had gathered there for hours, and then shortly after I arrived, the police, obviously with orders or for whatever reason, decided they wanted to disperse people. They started to fire tear gas. A lot of the people made their way down from the stairs. And probably took about an hour, even over an hour, for the people to get pushed down the stairs, and then slowly, maybe we can take a walk. I can show you the I believe it's the National Guard. Between the police, the D.C. police, from what I know, and the National Guard are here.
Red-fast motherfucker, queer in the gear with all the rear.
And you can see the line of the National Guard here and some police officers, and slowly they push people and push people and push people. Now, whenever I arrived, that was when they just started. I didn't see the breach. I wasn't here for just after the breach, but I was here for when they just started to disperse people. I think it was quite reasonable, at least at that stage, from the police. They were escorting people and slowly pushing people down, and I think most of the protesters here as well were obliging. It took a while to push everyone, but there wasn't so much animosity or so much conflict between them, and now we're still here. Now, I believe the lawmakers are still inside the building, and I believe that the officials in DC here have said that the area is now being secured, and really what we can see as well, there is hundreds of police officers and National Guard here. Officials have announced that they have secured the area, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has just announced that they will continue with the count of the Electoral College votes tonight. So it's been a pretty crazy night. I know President Trump, whatever, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, said come to DC for a wild protest, and I think tonight has definitely been wild. Yeah. So maybe we'll find some people to talk with. We'll ask them how they felt about the night. Hey. Hi. Pretty good. How do you feel about the night so far?
Well, I mean, I thought it was going to go a lot better than it did. I didn't expect it to take a turn for the worse with peaceful protesters getting tear gassed and maced and even killed. So definitely not good about how the day turned out. We were hoping that we would have positive results in favor of Donald Trump and head towards the right direction, and things took a turn for the worst.
A lot of people turned up today, first of all for the rally, and then later for the protest here at the Capitol. Why do you think they were so upset?
Well, I mean, there's so many different instances of voter fraud. The mainstream fake news media is not reporting it. Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, they're all putting out all different types of instances, and the fake news media just constantly puts out, oh, there's no evidence, and Donald Trump makes these claims despite not having evidence, and the people that are brainwashed by that mainstream media actually believe that. But the patriots that came here today aren't buying the BS that the fake news media is selling them, and we came out here to send a message that there's a lot of us over here that support Donald Trump. As far as raiding the Capitol and things of that nature, I don't want to speculate on who was behind that, but there was a lot of peaceful protesters, myself included, that didn't deserve to be tear gassed, that didn't deserve the treatment that they got as a result of it.
Are you disappointed that we didn't have a chance to hear the election fraud evidence in the House?
Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, we were looking forward to maybe those people who are paying attention to the fake news media are finally tuning in to hear some of the evidence, because it hasn't been reported for. So, yeah, I'm disappointed with that for sure.
Okay, great, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the DC mayor, she has called a curfew tonight from 6 p.m. It's already 7:10. So the curfew is in place until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. As we mentioned, most of the people have already left. Most of the people have already left here. We can take a walk around and take a look. Oh, finish up. Oh, okay. Okay. So guys, we're going to go back to the studio. We'll be here for another while anyway. We'll keep you updated.
If you're not from the DC area and you're watching this,
yeah, straighten this out.
pool here to make sure that no one advances any farther. But on the other side of the pool, we can also see a few dozen. We've got it on the monopod, so you're going to stay on this for a while. Right there, that's Third Street.
So even a little kindness their direction, saying, we appreciate them, I think is only appropriate. Thank you.
Who is that, Brian Todd? Is that Brian? Is that Brian? Right there? Is that Brian Todd? Where? Right here? But if it is, why are there three crews in the same spot? Yeah, yeah.
Start walking. So what, we got countdown? Any countdown? On live? Okay, okay. So we are still here in front of the Capitol.
No, I never had any background. Oh, all the time.
As you can see, maybe you'll see.
Oh, really?
If you look at the side.
Man,
They're saying that they're going to arrest anybody who's still going to be here due to the curfew. So as you can see, it was pretty much a 45-minute kind of standoff. Nobody moved for a while, but now everybody's filing down the street here, as are we. So that's it. We just got word that they're going to continue counting the electoral votes behind us in the Capitol building. So, but can't really do much out here. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll be back. But as you can see, everybody's being pushed out. There's not really many people left. A lot of press are here from, I don't know what outlet, they're not wearing flags. Probably just independent press, probably, or bloggers. But as you can see, the police have pushed everybody further out. And, it looks like maybe that guy's getting arrested or something like that. Tal, if you want to take a look. That guy's having some kind of a conversation with a cop. Let's take a look here. Yeah, he's being taken. Looks like he's being taken by the police. All right. So maybe it was due to the sound. Not quite sure. We couldn't hear what he had to say.
There's no curfew in America. You can be outside in public anytime you want. You can't have a curfew in America. You can be anywhere, anytime you want in America. Pay taxes. Right here. No curfew. We own this fucking land, not you. No curfew. Yeah, I mean, unless we go, you don't own all these fucking things. I don't want to go back there. No. Anywhere we want. Anytime we want. Fuck. Our taxes. Eddie and Christine. Yeah. Unless you would have been, yeah, Eddie. We're not leaving. So we're going to move because he's on. He's up, obviously. Yeah, because the control room is pretty much identical.
So, to reiterate, if you're just joining us, we were, if you can see that second line of National Guard troops back there, that was sort of where the line ended, and we were kind of in between them and the gates. But now they have pushed us back further, saying that they will begin arresting people due to the curfew if they still are out here. And actually, come to think of it, we're enclosed. If you pan the camera that way, we're sort of in a circle of police. I didn't realize that. That's interesting. Potentially, yeah. I like the dialectical approach that guy took. He took both sides there. But yeah, it looks like we're in the middle of just kind of a line of police. Maybe the line is like escorting people out. But yeah, over the course of several hours, kind of step by step, incrementally, we got pushed away from the Capitol.
Oh, they want to arrest him?
Yeah. There you have it. So,
can you stand anywhere you want?
So,
a lot of evil has been perpetrated under.
Yeah, so there you have it. Now we're further back, and I feel like with every kind of pushback, let more and more people go home, and kind of just the ratio of police to protesters just increases towards the police. How long have you been out here today?
We're not moving. We're staying here. We're gonna stand our ground. We're not fucking moving. Fuck this. It's unconstitutional. We have a right to be here. We're not moving.
Are you cold?
I'm fucking freezing.
Me too.
I don't give a shit. Freedom's worth more than that. It's worth my life, my friend, not fucking cold.
All right, well, there you have it. There you have it. A lot of people filing out. Some people saying they're not going home, but I mean, I don't know where they're going to stay if they're not. So otherwise, if anything crazy happens, we'll tell you about it. Otherwise, until next time.
They can incite
Therefore, I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege, to storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest, it's insurrection. The world's watching, like so many other Americans. I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light, hope, and democracy, has come to such a dark moment. Through war and strife, America's endured much. And we will endure here, and we will prevail again, and will prevail now. The work of the moment and the work of the next 4 years must be the restoration of democracy, of decency, honor, respect, the rule of law, just plain, simple decency. The renewal of the politics. It's about solving problems, looking out for one another, not stoking the flames of hate and chaos. As I said, America's about honor, decency, respect, tolerance. That's who we are. That's who we've always been. The certification of the Electoral College vote is supposed to be a sacred ritual. To affirm purposes, to affirm the majesty of American democracy. But today's reminder, a painful one, that democracy is fragile, and to preserve it requires people of goodwill, leaders with the courage to stand up, who are devoted not to the pursuit of power, or the personal interest pursuits of their own selfish interests at any cost, but of the common good. Think what our children watching television is thinking. Think what the rest of the world is looking at. For nearly 2.5 centuries, we, the people, in search of a more perfect union, have kept our eyes on that common good. America is so much better than what we're seeing today. Watching the scenes from the Capitol, I was reminded, as I prepared other speeches in the past, I was reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln in his annual message to Congress, whose work has today been interrupted by chaos. Here's what Lincoln said. He said, "We shall nobly save or merely lose the last best hope on earth." Went on to say, "The way is plain, peaceful, generous, just. A way which, if followed, the world will forever applaud and God must forever bless." The way is plain here, too. That's who we are. It's the way of democracy, of respect, of decency, of honor, and commitment as patriots to this nation. Notwithstanding what I saw today, we're seeing today, I remain optimistic about the incredible opportunities. There has never been anything we can't do when we do it together. And this god-awful display today, bringing home to every Republican and Democrat and Independent in the nation, we must step up. This is the United States of America. There's never, ever, 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 ever been a thing we've tried to do that we've done it together and not been able to do it. So President Trump, step up. God bless America. May God protect our troops and all those folks at the Capitol who are trying to preserve order.
Here.
Thank you, and I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Jim
Wow. They freaking brought damn Antifa here.
They escorted them here.
You've
literally.
got to be
Lights flashing.
You've got to be effing kidding me.
Help Americans become more self-reliant and more prepared for whatever comes next. Now today, I'd like to introduce you to something every single American should have in their home. This container right here is the 4-week survival food kit. Now inside, there's 4 entire weeks of food packed in. In my role as a Navy SEAL, I learned that the only gear worth having is gear that's going to last. Now these survival food kits are designed to last for 25 years. That's years longer than anything else I have in my stockpile. This is a go-to should you encounter a situation where you cannot depend on outside resources such as grocery stores or the government for food. The food we normally keep in our kitchens that we eat every day doesn't have a very long shelf life. And other foods that do, like MREs, can wreck your body. That's why you need a dedicated set of survival food. Now this is not an MRE. It's not a survival snack. It's a survival meal that's gonna give your body exactly what it needs to keep going. And these are good meals, mac and cheese, oatmeal, creamy vegetable and rice dinner. These are just 3 of the meals you could get in the bundle, and there's nothing nasty or chalky about them. The 4-week survival food kit from 4 Patriots gives me complete peace of mind when it comes to thinking about my next meal in a survival situation. These can sustain breakfast, lunch, and dinner for one person for a whole 4 weeks. That's day after day of comfortable eating, knowing you've got exactly what
The world.
What did he say? What? Oh. I'll check you on it. Jamie, what's your... They, no. They have you working here tomorrow. You might want to let them know. Who's they? Because they just put out our schedule. Yeah. No, they got me going home. Mm-hmm. But where? Who is the, Alex? No, who is the, desk guy? Alex? Who's on the desk? His name is Alex G. Oh, I don't know who that is. Mm-hmm. He's the one that's working now. He just put the schedule out. Number? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
1202?
So
430?
Here, that's the situation as we currently are seeing it. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button. Sure. Well. Also, I'll mention it's pretty cold. It's probably below freezing. I think like 31 degrees, but the wind makes it like 20 degrees. So we've been cold all day. The the cold kind of has been seeping into everybody. I feel at first it was fine, then it got deeper and deeper, and then it got into the bones. Yeah. So there you have it. This is the scene in front of the U.S. Capitol building here in Washington, D.C. Melina's taking it like a real trooper, no, shaking like a...
Oh, my teeth are better.
Oh, okay, you're wearing a mask. It's, I don't know, are we still live? Yeah? Well, I'll mention that it's again, very cold today. During one interview, I thought I might actually collapse from the cold, but I didn't, which is good. But if you maybe watch that interview, my hand is shaking. I try to control it, but it's a little tough when it's so cold. Now, yeah, there's not much else happening at the moment. I mean, it's just a kind of a standoff. It seems like everyone went home. I mean, you do have sporadic protesters here and there. Looks like there's one flag waving down in that direction, but yeah, I don't know. What does this mean? Is this sort of a preview for what the rest of the year is going to be like? I don't know. Only time will tell. Oh, okay. Well, I will mention one thing, because I mentioned it during one interview. We had our team here that was streaming live to the Hong Kong edition of the Epoch Times, and I tried to explain a little bit to them about what was happening here to the Hong Kong people, and in so doing, it kind of made me realize something, because we were in Hong Kong last year, right? Some of the team members here and I were in Hong Kong, and there's quite a bit of similarities between what we saw in Hong Kong and what we're seeing here today. In Hong Kong, the people are protesting against what? Against communism, and they're holding up American flags that say Trump, and signs that say down with the CCP, down with the Chinese Communist Party. And that's a lot of what you see here. Actually, it's pretty much the exact same stuff you see here. People waving the American flag, people holding up signs that say Trump, and people holding up signs that say down with the CCP, down with communism. So when I was explaining that to the Hong Kong edition, it kind of made me wonder whether it's kind of the same ethos, the same movement on both sides of the world. Just a thought. Yeah. Probably unprofessional to like dance around. Huh? Oh no, with them.
Wow, the Epoch Times, I'm a fan.
Hey there, Owen, thank you.
All right, so you guys want to interview some Proud Boys?
What's going on tonight? Is there anything?
I think Heather and Scott are right on the other side.
I don't want to start the room. I'm not sure if I can see the man just deal with this shit. I get what you're saying. Could be true. For like a quick question. So we're turning the tables now, bro. Just like they did us. You know? I'm asking people, how do they feel about the property? All right, we'll be right down here with more responses. And be honest, how do you feel about the property?
To be honest, I don't have that big impression of the Proud Boys. The media portrays them as generally like negative, like extremely negative. Spoken to the
Enrique Tario.
Well, I was surprised that he wasn't white, given the fact that, you know...
That sounds kind of racist, bro.
Well, I mean, just given the fact that...
Hold on, whoa. Now that sounds racist. You're saying he sounds white, so do I sound black, Asian, yellow, blue? I mean, listen to how racist you are. I mean, tell me the truth. Shit, he just said he sounds white. That's racist. Bro, did it sound like racist to yourself? Did you hear yourself?
What I mean is that...
You're a liberal. You're a meaner. Okay, go ahead.
You got sides, bro. What I mean is that...
What you meant to say before I caught you. All right, bro. Nothing against you is that you're racist. I'm sorry. You're just racist. Go ahead. Tell us the truth. All right. Explain.
So, given the media narrative, right, that it's a white nationalist organization, it was surprising when you talk to the president, he's not like that.
He's playing with you. I mean, I'm not playing with him. Fuck that. I'm not fucking. I'm telling the truth.
And a parking spot, and yeah. So I got real lucky. Yeah.
I have 2 spots at home as well.
Really? Oh, that's good. Helps out a lot. My neighborhood's not the best.
Well, you know,
but it's fenced in though. It's fenced in, so where I park, I have to lock up my fence.
You know, the only thing that I ever thought that was funny was like, you know, everybody used to say, please take the camera inside with you.
Well, it's basically a standoff.
In a way, you're opening up your car and your gate to everybody else.
Standing steadfast here. We have 1 or 2 protesters, a couple of them with bullhorns, shouting things occasionally to the police. Not really a message there. Not saying it's antagonistic.
Always. That's what I love. And it's always really, so I'm like,
just 1 or 2, just a handful of
somewhat of a White House guy too. So, and that takes me at like maybe 8 to 12 minutes to get there too. So it's so perfect. So perfect. And 10 minutes to get to the bureau of my house.
By a group of officers. And here, yeah, it's just if you look at this, it's just a stunning image. You know, you've got Metropolitan Police here holding this line, defending what you see is the Capitol in the background. This is imagery that's been established for some
I live on the border of New York City and
at this point,
right on the border.
So are you? Because you all have like a car dealership, right? Old car dealership.
Well,
you have to report
we have
there.
a few more people. We turn back around this way, right? You can see as we shoot down that way, you can see there are some people gathering, but this appears to be
each of y'all have a desk?
As far as the protesters,
each of us has a bar.
They are still, if we can move a little bit closer to them and see if there's anything that we can make out. But yeah, throughout the day, we've seen just stunning images, people on the steps of the Capitol, breaching the Capitol, and then you slowly, as it turns from day to night, you see that transform, more officers than protesters at the Capitol, and here you get a sense that there's you're stunning to see the police presence out here. Police easily outnumbering the protesters 10 to 1 at the very least, and that's being conservative.
You had a pretty quiet night.
Yeah. I mean, right when it got hairy was sort of the first moments of the breach when it was like, the standoff on the steps.
You were up close. I was up close, and then one of ours was showing. You got attacked.
I think it was a still photographer. Yeah, he got like pushed over that stone.
And that's when they pulled it.
Yeah.
Which I was happy to go. I mean, I've covered protests and revolution.
Well, hold on, let me let you over this. Ask this going to incriminate
Egyptians. In Egypt, please.
I will.
Here it's like, I wasn't pulling out. I was just there. I wasn't going to pull out my notebook or anything. I feel for the photographer.
I was pretty lucky to know.
Just to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's great. And part of the reason I think you prefer going solo, because if you're right next to me, you're automatically got a target on your back. And I was lucky tonight. I really didn't have too many people. There was one guy who threatened me, flipped me off, and blocked my camera, but that was it. No one hit me or pushed me. I got lucky.
I was surprised he wasn't white.
Yeah, it's dynamic compared to like the Antifa anti-journalism.
Yeah.
They'll scream in your face a lot.
They will. And these guys just get
these guys, but these guys
Welcome back. I'm here at the control room in New York, and we're just now waiting for the U.S. House and the Senate to resume their debates that were interrupted earlier. Today, they're supposed to be meeting to count the Electoral College votes. And Arizona was the first of several states that we expect to be objected to. There's an objection to Arizona, and that debate started, and about 2:15, everything was halted after protesters breached the Capitol building. And then everything went on lockdown, and protesters have now been pushed back from the Capitol, and they're declaring the area secure, and we're expecting both of those debates to resume. Didn't realize that might happen tonight, but they're trying to get the business of government done. So at about 2:15, that's when they called off the debates that were going on. Protesters, some dressed as Trump in Trump apparel, still unclear if everyone were actually Trump supporters, but they entered the Capitol building, they broke windows, and the building might have been breached in more than one location. It's still unclear. There's a lot, frankly, that's still unclear. There are other videos showing protesters carrying Trump and America flags walking through the halls, and the halls connecting the two chambers of the Capitol. Tens of thousands of President Donald Trump supporters had flocked to Washington for the counting of the Electoral College votes. It was a big protest that Trump himself was supporting and promoting on his social media, telling everyone to come to D.C. And Trump spoke to the crowd just before the counting started. He listed many of the ways that he felt that the election had been stolen, and lots of evidence that he says proves there was fraud in the election. Things were totally peaceful during the day until they approached the Capitol, went up to the Capitol, onto the different levels of the Capitol, and eventually breached it and went inside. And that's been the case for about 5.5 hours now, from when that happened to tear gas has been sprayed, and the National Guard was called in, and protesters have been pushed back. Throughout this, President Trump tweeted several times telling people to stay peaceful, to support Capitol Police and law enforcement. He also, Vice President Biden, he also put out a statement calling these dark days, calling for return to democracy, calling for peace. Then Trump put out a video statement, and he called on protesters to go home. He told them to remain peaceful. He said, we are the party of law and order, and that we have to respect law and order. And he also said that he understood how the protesters felt, that this election was stolen from us, not just from me as a president, but from all of you. But he said, we cannot play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. Of course, there is so many people at the Capitol. Cell connectivity wasn't very good, so some of the people that we spoke to told us they didn't get that message from the president that they should be peaceful and go home. I assume eventually that message probably got through. During Trump's speech ahead of the joint session, he had urged Vice President Pence to take a stand and reject Biden's electors from the states where the president has disputed the outcome of the election. As the session started, however, Vice President Pence released a statement explaining that the Constitution constrains him from doing so. Pence nevertheless affirmed an objection lodged by the Republicans against a slate of electors from Arizona, and that would trigger 2 hours of debate by the individual chambers, and it was that debate that was interrupted less than an hour into it, during maybe about half an hour, and that's when everything was called off. And we're waiting now for both chambers to come back and resume the business of the day. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in the Senate, in a rare agreement with the Democrats, he said that Congress cannot change the results of an election. He said that every election has some illegality and irregularities, and of course that's unacceptable, he said, but he said he supports strong state-led voting reforms, but nevertheless, there's nothing before us proves illegality anywhere near the massive scale that would have tipped the entire election. That was Senate Majority Leader Republican Mitch McConnell said that. So after the interruption, the senators were evacuated and other lawmakers were told to shelter in place, as was the media and anyone else that was in the Capitol building, and that's where they have been ever since. The National Guard came in. They were called by the president. The Pentagon said about 1,100 District of Columbia National Guard members were mobilized to help support local law enforcement in the Capitol. There was some violence. It's not entirely clear. It seems that there is one woman was shot dead, I believe, not totally confirmed. There was a lot of tear gas that was sprayed to try to disperse the crowds, which are mostly dispersed. There was a 6 p.m. curfew that was set up by the mayor, and around 6 o'clock, that's when police started to, or before 6 o'clock, started to try to clear everybody off the Capitol building with tear gas and just creating a perimeter and pushing and pushing and pushing until most of the protesters have left the Capitol area now. So if they are going to resume those debates, it's not sure how long it will go. There was probably 6 states that will still that will probably be disputed. And according to Vice President Pence, they should all have their hours of debate. So it's not clear if all of that will happen tonight. If they're hoping to finish and certify today, still not clear. A lot of the protesters that we spoke to, that our reporters on the ground have been speaking with, talked about frustration and that they didn't come to the Capitol today with any intention of violence, but they were very frustrated. It's been 2 months, they say, and still evidence has not been heard of the allegations of corruption and voter fraud, and they're frustrated and they just wanted to show that frustration. A lot of them kept saying, this is our house. These people are working for us. We have every right to be in there. All kinds of statements like that were heard. So it's still unclear what is going to happen this evening, if we are going to get through this business, if the slate of electors will actually all be accepted, if there'll be some other outcome, still very unclear. So right now, like I said, we're waiting for both houses to come back into session and resume the business that was interrupted at 2:15 this afternoon.
So we're going to bring you for the next hour commercial-free as much detail about it as we can and some context. But first we want to give you a sense of the scale of what took place in Washington today. Here's some footage. Fox News' Mike Tobin is in Washington for us tonight with an update. Hey, Mike.
And Tucker, it looks like what we're looking at now is the tail end of this effort to clear out the Capitol and clear off the Capitol grounds. As you look behind me, you can see rows and rows of the Metro Police, a lot of them with those neon yellow jackets. Behind them are supplements of National Guard. The National Guard are armed only with the shield, as they're making a point to not be essentially, they don't want to end up pawns in this, and usually what you find with the National Guard when it comes to big events like this, they're not the tip of the spear. There's police with the specific training are a little more active in the effort. But what we have seen over the last 2 hours, starting with the west side of the Capitol, is that they started a very forceful and deliberate effort to clear the grounds. Police with truncheons at the ready, conflicting with the demonstrators, moved with great force, pushing everybody west from the Capitol in the direction of the Washington Monument. A lot of conflict. A lot of guys getting knocked down, a lot of guys shoving back, a lot of people heckling the police as they move in this direction. But the more they moved, each time they advanced the line, you saw the numbers of the demonstrators fall away. Now we're in a situation where you've really got just a handful of demonstrators and a lot of media here, and police at the ready to finish the job and hold the line here for as long as they need to make sure that the Capitol grounds are secure. Tucker?
Mike Tobin for us, live in Washington. Thanks so much. We're still waiting to hear if the leader of the Mitch McConnell is anywhere close to getting to the floor. And of course, we'll have more on what has happened. All day you've been bombarded with images of what has taken place in Washington. Too little time has been spent thinking about why. Anyone who's trying to understand the significance of what's going on right now ought to watch the video of the woman who was shot inside the U.S. Capitol this afternoon. In the footage, which we're not going to show you because it's too upsetting, but you can find it on the internet. The woman is standing in a hallway right off the House floor at the center of the Capitol building. She appears to be in her 20s. She's got an American flag tied around her neck. The scene around her is chaotic. People bumping into each other, yelling, trying to get through the door into the Senate chamber. Suddenly, with no warning, there is gunfire. You hear a shot, and the woman falls. She's been hit with a bullet. Seems like the neck could be the chest. Apparently, it was fired by someone in law enforcement. People in the hallway scream. The camera closes in on the woman's face. She looks stunned. She's staring straight ahead, unblinking. In her eyes, you can see that she knows she's about to die, which in the end she did. The woman died a couple of hours ago at a local hospital. So what can we learn from this? It's not enough to call it a tragedy. Imagine for a second getting the call and learning that was your daughter. The last time you spoke to her, she was heading to Washington for a political rally. Now she's dead. You'll never talk to her again. Seriously, imagine that. If you have children, it will put you in the right frame of mind. That's what we're watching. And we may be watching a lot more of it in the coming days. Political violence begets political violence. That is always true. It's an iron law. It never changes. And we have to be against that. No matter who commits the violence or under what pretext. No matter how many self-interested demagogues assure us the violence is justified or necessary, as they have been assuring us, lying to us for the past 6 months. We have a duty to oppose all of this. Not simply because political violence kills other people's children, which it does, but because in the end, it doesn't work. No good person will live a happier life because that girl was killed in the hallway of the Capitol today. So our only option as a practical matter is to fix what is causing this in the first place. We don't have a choice. You may have nothing in common with the people on the other side of the country. Increasingly, you probably don't. But you're stuck with them. The idea that groups of Americans will somehow break off into separate, peaceful nations of like-minded citizens, that's a fantasy. That will not happen. There is no such thing as a peaceful separation. There never has been, and there won't be. The two hemispheres of this country are inseparably intertwined. They're co-joined twins. Neither can leave without killing the other. So that's the first thing to know. As horrifying as this moment is, we have no option but to make it better, to gut it out. The second thing to consider, and it's related to the first, is why the woman who was killed today went to the rally in the first place. We don't know anything about her, but she did not look particularly radical. She bore no resemblance to the angry children we have seen again and again wrecking our cities. Pasty, entitled nihilists dressed in black, setting fires, spray-painting slogans on statues. She didn't look like that. The woman in the Capitol hallway looked pretty much like everyone else. So why was she there on a Wednesday? Why were any of them there today? We ought to think about that. If you want to fix it, you have to think about that. The only reason this country is rich and successful is because for hundreds of years we've enjoyed a stable political system. And the only reason that system is stable is because it's a democracy. It responds to voters. Democracy is our pressure relief valve. As long as people sincerely believe they can change things by voting, they stay calm. They don't storm the Bastille. They don't burst into the House chamber. They talk, and they organize, and they vote. But the opposite is also true. If people begin to believe that democracy is fraudulent, if they conclude that voting is a charade, the system is rigged, and it's run in secret by a small group of powerful, dishonest people who are acting in their own interests, then God knows what could happen. Actually, we do know what could happen. It's happening right now. It's happened in countless other countries over countless centuries. And the cycle is always the same because human nature never changes. Listen to us, screams the population. Shut up and do what you're told by their leaders. In the face of dissent, the first instinct of illegitimate leadership is to crack down on the population. But crackdowns never make it better. Instead, they always make the country more volatile and more dangerous. The people in charge really understand that. They don't want to. They don't care to learn or listen because all of this conversation is a referendum on them and their leadership. So they clamp down harder. Obey, I tell you, obey. This is the Romanov program. It ends badly every single time.
And the heroes forged on this day. May God bless all who serve here and those who protect this place. And may God bless the United States of America. Let's get back to work.
Mr. President.
The Majority Leader.
I ask unanimous consent the Majority Leader and the Democratic Leader be elected. In relation to the objection raised on the state of Arizona.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered.
I want to say to the American people, we are back at our posts. We will discharge our duty under the Constitution and for our nation. And we're going to do it tonight. This afternoon, Congress began the process of honoring the will of the American people and counting the Electoral College votes. We've fulfilled this solemn duty every 4 years for more than 2 centuries. Whether our nation's been at war or at peace, under all manner of threats, even during an ongoing armed rebellion and the Civil War, the clockwork of our democracy has carried on. The United States and the United States Congress have faced down much greater threats than the unhinged crowd we saw today. We've never been deterred before and will be not deterred today. They tried to disrupt our democracy. They failed. They failed. They failed to attempt to obstruct the Congress. This failed insurrection only underscores how crucial the task before us is for our republic. Our nation was founded precisely so that the free choice of the American people.
There's one ancient Vietnamese dish you can eat before jumping into bed with a girl that can boost your drive like a raging bull and let you go all night.
Not fear,
What is
not force, but the peaceful expression of the popular will. Now, we assembled this afternoon to count our citizens' votes and to formalize their choice of the next president. Now we're going to finish exactly what we started. We'll complete the process the right way, by the book. We'll follow our precedents, our laws, and our Constitution to the letter. And we will certify the winner of the 2020 presidential election. Criminal behavior will never dominate the United States Congress. This institution is resilient. Our democratic republic is strong. The American people deserve nothing less.
Democratic leader.
Mr. President. Mr. President, it is very, very difficult to put into words what has transpired today. I have never lived through or even imagined an experience like the one we have just witnessed in this Capitol. President Franklin Roosevelt set aside December 7th, 1941, as a day that will live in infamy. Unfortunately, we can now add January 6th, 2021, to that very short list of dates in American history that will live forever in infamy. This temple to democracy was desecrated, its windows smashed, our offices vandalized. The world saw Americans' elected officials hurriedly ushered out because they were in harm's way. The House and Senate floors were places of shelter until the evacuation was ordered, leaving rioters